I'm Emma Larson, 31, and I've just stepped off a shuttle van at the San Ysidro border crossing, my backpack slung over one shoulder. For the last 8 years, I've been a financial analyst in San Diego, crunching numbers for a tech firm. But the city's insane cost of living, $3,500 a month for a tiny apartment, had me drowning in stress. 6 months ago, I took a leap. I moved to Tijuana, Mexico, just 20 miles south, where I rent a sunny loft for $600 a month. I kept my San Diego job, crossing the border 3 times a week for meetings. It's called super commuting, and it's my new normal. I'm not alone in this. In my Tijuana apartment complex, I've met others doing the same crazy dance, living in Mexico, working in the U.S. Jake Morales is 34. He's a marketing manager who splits his weeks between Tijuana's taco stands and San Diego's corporate offices, chasing big clients. Sophie Nguyen is a graphic designer who moved here for cheap rent and creative vibes, freelancing for San Diego firms. Dr. Michael Hayes is 43. He's a corporate attorney who lives in Tijuana but jets to San Diego and LA for high-stakes cases. We're all chasing something. Savings, opportunity, or just a life that feels less suffocating. As I weave through the border checkpoint, the chaos of vendors selling churros and mariachi music blaring, I feel a rush of excitement mixed with nerves. San Diego's sleek skyscrapers are a world away from Tijuana's vibrant, gritty streets. I moved here to save money and breathe easier, but the constant border runs are daunting. Jake warned me over beers last week. The commute's a grind, and family's the hardest part. His wife, Rachel, and their daughter stay in San Diego, and I can see the guilt in his eyes. Sophie, on the other hand, is all in, raving about Tijuana's art scene. She said, "It's like my brain's on fire here." Michael's more practical. "San Diego pays for the life I want in Mexico," he told me. But his tired eyes hint at a cost I'm starting to understand. As I settle into my loft, jet lag from a recent San Diego trip lingering, I wonder if I've bitten off more than I can chew. The first month of super commuting was a wild ride. I crossed the border 3 times a week, a 45-minute shuttle ride that can stretch to 2 hours with traffic or inspections. I'm up at 5 a.m., chugging coffee, racing to catch the shuttle to San Diego's gas lamp quarter for 9 a.m. meetings. My colleagues don't bat an eye at my setup, but the border agents know me by name. "Back again, Emma?" One grins, waving me through. Jake's got it worse, crossing 4 days a week for client pitches. "It's like I'm living in 2 time zones," he told me at a Tijuana cafe, his laptop open to a campaign deck. He's gunning for a promotion, but Rachel's calls, upset about his absences, weigh him down. "She says our daughter's starting to think I'm a guest," he admitted, his voice tight. Sophie's trips are less frequent, maybe twice a month, but they're intense. She crosses for client meetings, her portfolio bursting with designs inspired by Tijuana's street art. "Mexico's colors make my work pop," she told me, but a delayed shuttle once made her miss a deadline, leaving her frazzled. Michael's a pro, crossing to San Diego and LA weekly, his briefcase stuffed with legal briefs. "I've got this down," he said, but I caught him napping at the border station, exhausted from a red-eye. I'm tired too. My body aches from shuttle seats and my sleep's a mess. But my bank account's growing and Tijuana's energy keeps me hooked. I'm saving half my salary compared to San Diego, enough to dream of paying off my student loans. Still, as I collapse into bed after a 14-hour day, I wonder if I'm thriving or just hanging on. Tijuana's starting to feel like home. My loft in Zona Rio, with its balcony overlooking taco stands, costs a fraction of San Diego's rents. I love the city's pulse. Morning jogs past markets, evenings sipping mezcal at bars, weekends exploring murals. At a local taco stand, I met Carmen, who runs the place with her brother. "You gringos are nuts commuting like this," she teased, teaching me to make salsa verde. Jake's found his spot too, renting a house near the beach in Playas de Tijuana. "I can think here," he told me, though his phone pings with Rachel's messages, asking when who call their daughter. Sophie's all in, sketching at markets and collaborating with local artists. "This place is my muse," she said, her freelance gigs booming. Michael's more reserved, his apartment a quiet retreat. Tijuana's my escape, he told me, but his eyes betray the toll of his schedule. We've become a crew, meeting at Carmen's stand to swap stories of border delays and culture shocks. It's like a little family bonded by our weird lifestyle. But I can't shake the feeling we're all dodging something. San Diego's pressure, our doubts, or the fear we're missing out on a normal life. In San Diego, my days are a blur of spreadsheets and client calls. Our office in the Gaslamp Quarter is all glass and ambition. And I deliver, even if I'm running on fumes. My boss calls me rock solid, but never asks about my life in Tijuana. It's like my commute doesn't exist to them. Jake thrives in San Diego's cutthroat marketing scene, pitching to big clients. But the pressure's brutal. One flop could tank his career. He barely sees Rachel and their daughter, their FaceTime calls cut short by his schedule. I'm doing this for them, he told me, but I heard the doubt in his voice. Sophie's San Diego trips are high stakes, meeting clients and her partner Liam, who pushes her to scale her business. You can't just play artist in Mexico, Liam snapped once, annoyed by her laid-back vibe. She held her tongue, knowing San Diego's her lifeline. Michael's office is a pressure cooker. His mentor, Dr. Susan Carter, praises his work but expects him 24/7. You're a star, Michael, she said after a late-night case, not seeing he'd barely slept. Back at Carmen's, we vent. San Diego's rewards are real, but it's like a machine that doesn't care how much it takes from us. 3 months in, the commute started breaking me. A border delay, 2 hours in a stalled shuttle, made me late for a client presentation. My boss's email was blunt. We need you on point, Emma. I lay awake that night, questioning if the savings were worth it. My body felt like it was running on empty, my sleep wrecked by early mornings. Jake's world was crumbling too. Rachel called during a San Diego meeting, furious he'd missed her daughter's recital. You're never here, she said, her voice cracking. A border closure kept him in San Diego an extra day, missing a family barbecue. I'm losing them, he told me at Carmen's, his face pale. Sophie hit a snag when a client dropped her, blaming her absence from San Diego. You're too focused on Mexico, Liam said over Zoom. She spent nights in her Tijuana studio, doubting her choices, her sketches piling up, unsent. Michael's schedule got crazier with an LA case added, 3 border crossings in 4 days. He collapsed into his apartment, too tired to eat, ignoring calls from his mom in San Diego. This isn't sustainable, he told me, his voice flat. At Carmen's, our usual jokes were gone, replaced by a heavy silence. The super commuter dream was starting to feel like a trap. Tijuana gave me moments to hold on to. Carmen and I bonded over late-night taco runs, her laughter easing my stress as she taught me Mexican slang. You're one of us now, she said, and it warmed me. Jake found peace at a Tijuana church, praying to make things right with Rachel. It's where I clear my head, he said. Sophie met a local artist, Diego, who invited her to a mural project. His stories of Tijuana's history sparked her next design series, pulling her out of her funk. You're not just passing through, Diego told her, and she beamed. Michael opened up one night at Carmen's, sharing how he'd won a case for low-income clients. It's why I keep going, he said, and I saw a spark in him. We started meeting weekly at Carmen's, our shared struggles knitting us together. Carmen became our rock, her stand a place to laugh about border chaos or vent about family drama. I felt a flicker of hope. These connections reminded me why I'd chosen this life, even if it wasn't easy. Everything crashed one September morning. I'd crossed to San Diego after a sleepless night, my head pounding from a week of back-to-back meetings. At the border, dizziness hit. My vision blurred, my heart raced. I slumped against a wall, gasping as a border agent called for help. You okay, ma'am? He asked, his voice distant. It was a panic attack, the doctor later said, brought on by exhaustion. You're running yourself into the ground, he warned. The scare shook me. I'd been ignoring my limits, but this was a wake-up call. Jake was spiraling too. Rachel sent a text, we need a break. This isn't working. Their daughter had stopped asking for him, and he broke down at Carmen saying, "I'm failing them." Sophie faced a crisis when Liam threatened to end their partnership unless she moved back to San Diego. "You're throwing it all away," he said. She cried in her studio, wondering if her dreams were a mistake. Michael's health scare was worse. He collapsed at San Diego's airport after 3 crossings in 4 days, pale and sweating. Colleagues thought it was a heart attack. It was another panic attack. "I don't know where I am half the time," he admitted to me, shaken. At Carmen's, we sat quietly, our usual energy gone. I realized we were all at a breaking point. Our savings, our ambitions, none of it mattered if we were falling apart. I knew I had to change. I called my mom, who I'd barely seen in months, and planned a San Diego visit just for family. "I've missed you, Emma," she said, her voice soft, and I felt a weight lift. I pitched my boss a hybrid work model, fewer in-person meetings, more remote work. "You've earned it," he said, impressed by my numbers. Jake flew to San Diego for a long talk with Rachel. "I'm cutting my trips to twice a month," he promised. She agreed to try, and they planned a Tijuana trip for their daughter to see his world. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Sophie stood up to Liam, proposing 1 week a month in San Diego while keeping her Tijuana base. He agreed, blown away by her new portfolio. "You're killing it," he said, and she grinned. Michael took a week off, his first in years. Dr. Carter reassigned cases, giving him breathing room. He started meditation classes in Tijuana, guided by Carmen's cousin, and called his mom regularly. "I forgot how to just be," he told me, smiling. At Carmen's, we shared our steps forward. Her warmth anchored us, and I felt we were rebuilding, not just surviving. My boss offered me a new client, one okay with remote work, boosting my savings and confidence. I planned a weekend in Ensenada with Carmen, her stories of Mexico fueling my sense of home. Jake landed a big client, letting him hire a San Diego assistant and cut his trips to once a month. He brought Rachel and their daughter to Tijuana, their awe at the street markets easing his guilt. "This could work," Rachel said, and he beamed. Sophie's new portfolio, inspired by Tijuana's murals, went viral, drawing San Diego clients. She opened a small Tijuana studio, balancing both cities. "I'm not choosing one over the other," she told me, excited. Michael took a consulting role with a San Diego nonprofit, requiring less travel. At Carmen's, he raised a glass to surviving the grind and finding our way. I felt proud. We'd turned our chaos into growth. A year later, I stood on my last balcony, Tijuana's lights twinkling. I'd cut my San Diego trips to twice a month, my savings funding a local charity project with Carmen. My family visited, marveling at my life. "You've made it yours," Mom said, and I felt complete. Jake's family spent weekends in Tijuana, his daughter calling it Dad's Adventure Town. His reduced travel strengthened his marriage, and his firm thrived. Sophie's studio grew, with locations in both cities, her designs blending Tijuana's vibrancy with San Diego's polish. Michael, healthier now, led his nonprofit work from Tijuana, visiting his mom often. At Carmen's, we celebrated our Commuter anniversary. Carmen toasted, "To living your way." I looked at my friends, their faces glowing with resilience. We'd faced exhaustion, doubt, and distance, but we'd found balance between work and family, 2 cities, and who we were and who we wanted to be. The story of Emma Larson and her fellow supercommuters weaves a poignant narrative about the pursuit of balance in a world that demands constant motion. The deepest lesson lies in the courage to carve your own path while staying true to what matters most, whether it's family, personal growth, or a sense of purpose. Supercommuting, with its blend of ambition, sacrifice, and resilience, mirrors the broader human struggle to juggle dreams with reality. Emma's journey, from embracing Tijuana's vibrant chaos to facing exhaustion and doubt, and ultimately finding equilibrium, teaches us that life's trade-offs require intentional choices. It's not just about chasing financial savings or career wins. It's about recognizing when to pause, reconnect, and redefine success on your own terms. This resonates in real life. We often push ourselves to the brink chasing goals, but true fulfillment comes from aligning our ambitions with our well being and relationships. Like Emma, we can learn to set boundaries, seek supportive communities, and embrace the beauty of unconventional paths, even when they're met with skepticism. The story reminds us that resilience isn't about enduring endlessly. It's about adapting, reflecting, and finding harmony in the chaos. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What stories or themes would you like to see next? Drop a comment below, give this a like if it spoke to you, and subscribe to stay tuned for more heartfelt tales. Wishing you a warm, peaceful day filled with moments that inspire.